Good morning, friends. Pastor Al. It is Tuesday, August 18th. In John chapter 6, we see Jesus starting to work on a new miracle. It says that he and his disciples came across the Sea of Galilee and then sat down on a mountainside in a grassy area, assuming he was going to teach them. And like he would always been doing, everything is about teaching him. Well, but the crowds followed, and pretty soon there are all kinds of people. And Jesus said to Philip, these people are hungry. Where are we going to get bread for them to eat? And it says he asked him this to test him. And that's it. Philip seen all these people, and his first response was 8 months' wages would not buy enough bread for everyone to have a single bite. And it's a test. He was going to test him. Are you going to turn to me and seek me out in this, or what? And I see in life, we all go through some tests, sometimes a literal test. Happened to me before I started college, before I was in ministry. I started working a part-time selling term life insurance, and that company then and the idea was to invest the rest in a mutual fund. And I started, that sounds like a fun idea and a part-time job. So I took a test. I got my insurance license, passed the test right away. And then I started working on the securities test, which is quite an involved test, two tests actually. And I studied and studied, and I went and I took those tests and I passed them. But that was also about the time that God was starting to lead me into ministry. Now, when I took those tests, I didn't know what God's future plan was, but He used those tests for me to help me build confidence and prepare me to go to college, and as I got education for seminary. Sometimes the tests that come in life, we're hard, we don't like them, we struggle through them, but God uses that to build on what's next. So maybe you're going through a test today, some sort of struggle in life, and you say, God, how am I going to get through this? Well, trust Him, lean on Him, and expect that something more is going to come out of it. God's using that test for something down the road. Are you going to lean on Him through the test or lean on yourself? I choose Him. Have a blessed day, my friends.